Ex-fiancé is with his AP now. I have never posted anything ever, but I feel like I need to vent and have no real friends to share all of this with. I'm sorry if it's not formatted nicely. I have been with my ex-fiancé for the past 9 years. We got together when I was 16 and he was 15. I'm 26 now and he's 25. I got pregnant when I was 18 with our first son and had him when I was 19. Our relationship from that point on was rocky and not great. I have a feeling that he is a narcissist, but I'm not sure. He is a master at manipulation, and still to this day I think a lot of what's happened is my fault, even though I can rationally say that is not the case. He got physically and emotionally abusive after our first son was born, and I was made to believe it was my fault because I said the wrong thing or did something he didn't like. It would come in bursts though, it was never all the time. He would be that way for a few weeks, even a couple months or so, and then we'd be fine for like 4 to 7 months straight. But even during all of that I still got up and hugged him and smiled at him when he got home from work, still laid his clothes out for work, still cooked him whatever he wanted, upkept the house as I was a stay-at-home mom, sat with him while he played games and acted interested even though I couldn't care less, and was always 100% loyal. I had my moments where I would have an attitude, but who doesn't? Our second son was born about a year and a half later and things are still the same. Good moments followed by bad bursts followed by good moments. At one point we were good for a whole year and a half. And then he had to have surgery to remove his gallbladder. He lost his job a month prior due to not being able to meet the physical demands of it. Luckily we had some savings and I was able to stay home and care for him for a month after this. And then I stepped up and got a job for the first time ever and was thankfully able to provide everything we and the kids needed. He became severely depressed after this. I would get up, get my first son ready for school, take him to the bus stop, and then go to work. I would then rush to finish all my work for the day and come home, pick my son up from the bus stop, and then proceed to clean, cook, watch the kids, and cater to my ex. All while he would sit at his computer desk playing games. He started drinking excessively and became more abusive towards me, and one day I had enough and called my mom. She drove 3 hours early in the morning to come help me get some of mine and the kids' things, and we left for a different state. Literally a week after I left, I found out I was pregnant with our third son. My ex was devastated and called and begged me to come back, but I stood my ground and told him what I needed from him to be able to reconcile, and he actually made most of the positive changes for himself, if not for me. And I'm glad for it. So after about a month and a half I agreed to come back after a trial weekend with him and seeing the changes he's made. He got a job, started going to the gym, and taking care of himself. From that point on, he never got physical again. Some emotional abuse would show through the cracks, but never like it was before. At least until all this recent stuff happened. I can fully admit and take responsibility for being a huge bitch during my pregnancy. I was cold and distant and didn't really want to be intimate. I tried as best I could, but it literally hurt to have sex. I don't know if it was pregnancy hormones or my subconscious not allowing me to try and reconcile, but I did not enjoy being around him at all, and it showed. Fast forward and I'm 37 weeks pregnant. I found out he was having a physical and emotional relationship with a coworker. I was devastated. I told him I needed him to find a different job or at the very least show me his phone and tell AP that it's over. He refused. I started packing my things. He went back and forth between wanting to end things with me and wanting to fix things, which made everything so confusing and hurtful for me. I ended up making the decision to leave and move in with my mom after I had our third son. I had to stay in our apartment with him until then, and it was so awful. He wouldn't come home until 5 or 6 in the morning and lied so many times. I later found out he was with her. But for some reason I trusted what he said and believed every lie. He kept saying things like maybe we can be together again, this is just a separation, and things like that. So he somehow convinced me to allow him to be in the delivery room while my son was born. He slept with me in the hospital bed and kissed me and everything. It made me have hope that things would get better and maybe we just needed some time apart. After the baby, I moved in with my mom 3 hours away. She is such an angel and has helped me tremendously. So I was talking to him for about 2 weeks straight after this, talking about our relationship, the kids, and what I could do to help fix things. But this whole past week he's been very distant and hasn't called the kids one time to talk to them or ask to see them, which he had the previous weeks. So I did some snooping and found his AP on Facebook had changed her status to in a relationship. And who else could it be but my ex? So I texted him, "Are you in a relationship with this person?" And he admitted it. He said, "I am. I know you don't care, but please don't mess it up because I'm really happy. This shouldn't affect the relationship I have with our kids." I was devastated all over again while also having to handle 2 kids, 5 and 6, and a 3-week-old. I feel so betrayed and abandoned. How could you do that to someone you care about? He could have just broken things off with me and I'd have been a lot better off than this. So now I have no real job history, no money, no place, and have to fully care for our 3 kids other than when he decides he wants to see them. My mom is one of the best out there and is able to provide for my kids and I while I work through this. But it's still not okay. It's not okay that I now have to worry about changing my kids' schools, insurance, doctors, etc. and he's just doing whatever he wants with no worries about any of this. I am so angry that he is free now and can do whatever he wants while I'm left to pick up the pieces while also having to be happy and okay for our kids. He's living his best life and mine has changed so dramatically that I'm having suicidal thoughts. And I didn't even do anything but be a little bitchy during my pregnancy. He of course says I'm what caused all of this because of how I was acting during my pregnancy. But he was awful to me while I was working and I would never have cheated and never even entertained anyone that came on to me. So I have blocked his number and have asked my mom to communicate with him for the kids' sake until I feel okay enough to talk to him. I'm in so much shock that he is with this other person and I don't know how to deal with it. Does anyone have any good stories stemming from something similar? I'm in desperate need of advice on how to stop thinking about him and wondering if he'll call. I'm sorry this is so long. I really needed to vent. Thank you for reading. Now some of the comments. He's a loser. Keep him blocked and tell your mom if he messages anything that isn't about the kids, shut it down. Go see a lawyer and set up custody agreements where he has to pay child support, you get full custody and he can visit them at your mom's every weekend until they are old enough to go with him. And when he comes you go out, go shopping, go for a walk, anything, just don't be there. Let the last time he saw you be the last time. I did it to my ex, I haven't seen him in years, he hates it but I don't give a foo #k when I kicked him out. All communication about kids, pickup/drop-offs was done through my sister. He will get bored of this one or she will realize he a pos and leave, but make sure you are nowhere to be seen. Send her a lovely FB message too. How low self-esteem do you have that you started a relationship with a taken man and left 3 boys without a family? One only being 3 weeks old, you are a horrible person and so is that scumbag. You will soon realize Mr. Perfect is not Mr. Perfect at all, he is Mr. Mental Manipulator and Mr. I beat women. Good luck, you both deserve each other, you don't have worry yourself about me taking him back ever. My mistake was staying too long and tying myself to the loser for 18 years. Have fun though. Then block her. You got this, mama, heart. You are a woman, he is a man-child. You did good blocking him. You don't need him. Put him on child support ASAP. You will meet a wonderful, loyal partner you deserve. Do things for yourself, don't let the motherhood totally suck you in. It's good that you have your mother on your side. It is not your fault. When life got difficult you stepped up, he stepped down and lashed out at you. Zero consideration for you, and his children. Only what he needs. It is his loss whether he realizes it or not. You can do it. You are strong. You will overcome this. He is a total loser and is snapped even to lick the soles of your bots. Your boots are made for walking. Also don't forget to write down how much time he dedicates to your children. Catalogue it for future reference in case any legal obstacles. He made 3 children, he must pay for their upkeep.